Hello and welcome to Leviathan News. Today is November 3rd, and let's talk about safety and security when it comes to crypto. I have a couple of hardware wallets. I use a Grid Plus here, and for me to set up one of these things and set up a card, I gotta come up with 24 words. My machine gives it to me, put a passphrase on it, and then I gotta go figure out where to put those words. And sometimes I've had a few shocks where I can't find where I placed it, and I'm like, "Oh my god, am I really screwed now?" And uh, I've really gotten a little worried about this. I don't think there's a perfect solution that we've found for storing 24 words yet, because some people sell those metal discs that you can put the letters into, so they're fire resistant. You could split it up into a variety of different uh, like safety uh, deposit boxes, or just give copies of the words to other people that but not give them all, right? And so I, the solutions for custodying is always going to be difficult, but we may have a better solution. And that is why we have Louis here from Ryder today to talk about the upcoming release of their novel hardware wallet called Ryder One. So welcome, Louis.
Thank you for having me, Sam.
Yeah. So I reached out to you a couple of days ago, and you actually showed me the wallet. It looks pretty cool, and we'll get to it. But you guys actually just came off of Breakpoint a couple of days ago. I believe it was like Wednesday and Thursday. And how did that go? How was the atmosphere at the Solana conference?
Yeah, Breakpoint was great actually. It's the first time that I went to Breakpoint, and I was working for other protocols before. So my history is I was on Stacks for 4 years, and then for me to go and see a different protocol, different community, and you can just see how different is it. I think in terms of what do you call this, how big Solana is,
Mhm.
Breakpoint actually shows it.
Yeah. And when did you make that switch? How long you were at Stacks for 3 years?
4 years
Oh wow.
actually. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I was very vocal at Stacks. I was a multi-chain guy since the beginning and
Yeah.
even up until now. And I told the guys, even my work towards the end at Stacks was actually bringing it multi-chain. I think crypto isn't a zero-sum game and it shouldn't be. And even from the talk of our CTO, we always mention that we shouldn't bring, build islands, but instead you should build bridges, right?
Yeah. Yeah, that's a great metaphor or like phrase. I like the idea of building a bridge through the hardware wallet, right? Because like this is one of like the key points that everybody has issues with for self custody, and we're big on self custody here, but it's difficult, and not everybody should do it. It's very, you know,
Yeah.
you lose your hardware wallet and your 24 words, you're done. Like that's it.
Hmm.
There's no way to come
Yeah.
back for that.
Yeah, you're right. I think that all the hardware wallets now, I think they did great in terms of onboarding the technological niche audience. But for us, it was always okay. I went to crypto in 2016. I joined Stacks in 2018 after working on the protocol level for 4 years. Why is it still so difficult for my friends, my family to go into Web3? That was like the biggest question that we have, right? Why do I have 8 hardware wallets? If me having 8 hardware wallets is already a struggle, I can't imagine how my friends will actually go on it, let alone my family as well.
Yeah. So maybe you can talk about the announcement that you guys made at Breakpoint, and I've got the website here for Ryder
Hmm.
One. It looks like a very like modern and cool
Yeah,
device. I mean,
yeah,
comparatively to some of the other hardware wallets out there. Like mine is the size of a brick, right? And then
yeah.
a ledger is like pretty small, but here we've got like
I
the.
actually have it. Yeah, I actually have it in my pocket.
Oh, you do? Can you
Yeah,
show
of
this?
course.
Here,
Yeah,
let me put the share screen down.
yeah,
Oh wow,
yeah.
that's cool. And then
And you can see like the back as well.
oh
So
nice.
right away, yeah.
So you the so can you talk about the device itself?
Yeah, so we announced on Breakpoint that we're actually opening the pre-orders 2 days ago. So as you can see now, we're like 70% fulfilled on Kickstarter. And the device is the first hardware wallet that combines security, simple setup, and easy recovery.
Hmm. Yeah. So this is probably hear this. I'm just gonna let this play while we go. But yeah. So the device is actually like a nice size. You can fit into your wallet or
Mhm.
store it at home
It's it's
somewhere.
it's just like something that you can actually bring with you, right? So for this, we did a lot of iterations over 50 on like the form factor. What is like the nice thing, nice size where you can feel like, okay, it's nice to hold, it's nice to swipe, so the ergonomic study we did a lot, so it's human centered, because by the end of the day, we want to change the narrative with hardware wallets.
Mm.
Because hardware wallets for so long, you encourage hodling, right? But then Web3 is all about creating microeconomies, and in which we can actually flourish. And then economy means you need assets that have utilities. So for us, the vision was always, okay, how can we actually bring all these on-chain assets in the real world? And it was always the combination of hardware and software, self-custody. And then by design, Ryder is actually made by NFC, so near field communication, same technology as Apple Pay. And when you combine that with on-chain asset, you're able to unlock a lot of use cases, such as you can use it to pay, you can use it to go through events, or we can even do in real life asset swap and we're on Breakpoint at the same time.
Very cool. Wow, that's cool. Wait, so I saw that last thing there. It's got wireless charging as well too.
So you have a wireless charger. So if you buy a Rider now, you get a recovery tag. Okay, I have it in my pocket as well. Because I'm just always prepared if people ask. So it comes with a recovery tag, and the wireless charger is in my bag. If you give me, can I step away and then
Yeah,
I'll
sure,
connect the
sure.
charger?
Yeah. Gary, what do you think about like what's your hardware wallet situation like?
I've never had a lot of success with hardware wallets, I have to admit. So
Yeah.
I'm probably a bad example.
All right, hold on, let me get rid of this shared screen so you can see. Okay, so that's the charger. That's nice. That fits on your
Yeah.
desk, right? That's cool.
Yeah. So you have it because then by design, it's
Mhm.
portless. So there's no Bluetooth, there's no Wi-Fi, and it only does have NFC. So that means the attack vectors are very small. Because if we're gonna be honest, in terms of security, you want simplicity, right?
Mhm.
So when you have simplicity, you can have the utmost security, just like Bitcoin.
That's pretty cool. So do you have the recovery tag as well too?
Yes, the recovery tag is here. So the onboarding process is very simple. You simply tap the recovery tag with the Ryder One and the mobile app, and then you're able to create a wallet and have backup in 60 seconds.
Oh, that's really cool. Wait, so does the rider so you can make multiple recovery tags then, right?
Yeah. Because okay, so I'm a normal consumer, right? So I went to crypto. It's not like I'm super maxi when it comes to security and privacy like most others, but
Paranoid.
then all of the engineers on our team are like heavy open source. They love Bitcoin. They've been there since 2013. And for us, it was always the question, okay, security is different for everyone, right? So how can you cater to like a big audience while bringing Web3 to everyone? So if you're like a security guy, you only trust yourself and your devices. So you can actually buy as many recovery tags and create as many backups as you want.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So per that video that you showed, to recover, you have to have two friends. But what if you're someone like me who falls way short of that mark? Like
Yeah,
you actually,
so that social circle is optional. So it's more like for people like me. I gave my backup to my mom, for example. So I live in Amsterdam. I'm from the Philippines. My mom lives in LA. I split my seed phrases in 3 geographic locations, right? So if they're gonna attack me, they're gonna attack me now. Oh my God. So my one of my seed phrase is in my mom, but now I left it there. But now I could just give her a backup through the mobile app. So it's more geared towards users like me, like the customer persona. But then if you're a security guy, for example, sad enough, you don't have a lot of friends. You can buy as many recovery tags as you want, and then you only trust the devices that you have.
Very cool. So, like, what's the process of setting up the wallet? Like, if when I get my Rider One and I unbox it, like, what happens then?
So you just need to install the Rider mobile application, and then you simply tap your Rider One with the recovery tag and the mobile app. I think it's also in the video.
Wait, so how long does it take to set up?
Less than 60 seconds. If it's less than even, it's very quick. So it's just like NFC, right? So you just like tap, and then you're able to create a wallet.
That's pretty cool.
It
Wait,
looks
so
like it's
yeah, go ahead, Garrett.
Oh, it looks like it's possible to do this without seed phrases, but for those of us who are old-fashioned and like seed phrases, you can still export your seed phrase.
Yeah, so you can. There's going to be an option to actually import your seed phrase because then we need to support the legacy standard, and it's adopted by a lot of people. So for us, there's an option to actually import seed phrase on it.
Wait, to import or export?
Both.
Oh, okay, great. That's cool. I think the people that like, if I had one of these, I'd just create a new wallet.
Yeah.
Because I wouldn't even want to know what was in the device, right?
Mhm.
So like for the seed phrase generation, like how can you prove that the random number generation that's used as the hash for creating the seed is actually random and it's not like coming from any other place, that it is truly like secure in the device?
Yeah. So we actually. Are you guys familiar with Shamir?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we use our own weighted implementation of Shamir to actually securely split the private keys to
Oh
multiple
no,
pieces.
no, not the splitting. I was talking about the when the seed phrases are being created inside the device, right?
Mm-hmm.
So like what guarantees that the seed phrases are not are actually like random, and that the hash that's like used to create those seed phrases inside the wallet is cannot be extracted or taken by anybody else.
Yeah,
Or reverse engineered.
Yeah, reverse engineered.
Yeah, so there's a big connotation, right? So you have your private keys is generated on the secure element, right? Let's put it there. And then usually the standard is you generate a mnemonic seed phrase for it. But with Ryder, we can skip that using what we call TapSafe recovery. Does that make sense? So
What does the TapSafe recovery do?
So instead of creating seed phrase, we just split the private keys on multiple, like the recovery tag and the mobile application.
Oh, right. Okay, so the
Yeah.
recovery tag gets a piece, and then
Yes.
the app
Yeah.
gets one,
Yeah.
and then the
Yeah.
hardware wallet has
Yeah.
one.
And then you need to be in the same place to reconstruct it again. So that's how it works.
Ah, okay. That's interesting. That's
Yeah.
an interesting way to do it. Here's a video on your guys' site of someone actually doing the recovery. Is that in real time right there?
Yeah. 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 So now you're like actually recovering your assets towards like a Ryder One. Yeah.
That's like 10 seconds right there.
Yeah. But like for us, it was always, how can you bring that frictionless experience that you have with Apple Pay to Web3? So for me, I use Apple Pay quite a lot, right? Because I think it's just super simple. I tap it and then I go everywhere else. From like going on a plane to just like paying. I think if you bring the same experience in Web3, it will get adopted a lot, especially like the network effects of having people as backup on the mobile application because it's user cost-free acquisition, right? Like for example, I can onboard 5 people at once with just the mobile app.
Mm-hmm. And then on the like the software itself, like I saw some pictures of the device that it can show NFTs.
Mm-hmm.
Like you also get like transaction information as well too, because like one of the like if I do an Ethereum transaction, like what's it going to show me?
Yeah. So wait, I wish I could turn this on. Wait, let me charge it so then you can see like what a transaction looks like. It's the same thing, right? So you can see the transaction ID, the way you send a transaction from before. You can also see the same at Ryder. Same thing.
Oh wait, so when I make a transaction, right? So I make a transaction on the phone, right?
Then,
And the phone wallet, is it using like Wallet Connect or some sort of
so we have our own mobile app, but then in the future, we're already planning a lot of integrations. So for example, we hope to integrate MetaMask, for example, right? Like just like your typical hardware wallet, it needs to work with like various multiple wallets that's out there.
Yeah.
Software ones.
Okay, so the wallet software has its own wallet or it's connected to another wallet. I'm guessing that the transaction is generated. So does it like read a QR code on a?
You just tap it.
Oh, I'm saying like so the if the transaction is generated on the mobile phone, then it just creates the transaction inside the wallet, and then you just tap the like that little box that they have onto the phone, and then that triggers the transaction.
Yeah, because your Ryder only talks to your paired phone, right? So by the end of the day, your Ryder does all the signing. Your private keys stays offline. We don't have any full control of it, only you. So you use it to sign everything. And then you initiate the transaction on like the mobile application.
Okay. And then let's say I'm using my like desktop PC like I'm using right now. If I'm using can I generate a QR code that I scan with the phone to create the transaction?
So at first we roll out Ryder, we're only supporting mobile first.
I mean,
and then in the future, for example, we have the wireless charger. We're gonna have a future wireless charger that actually support data transfer.
That's cool.
So when you generate transaction, you just need to place your Ryder on the wireless charger. So that's down the line. I'm giving too much alpha. I can't do that. My head of marketing will kill me.
Well, that's really cool. I mean, I like the flow, right? Like you're because.
Wait, let me charge it. I'll show you.
Okay, it's fine. We'll come back. We'll come back in a few minutes.
We'll come back to it. Yeah.
I really like the mobile focus first, because when we look at like usage of people's devices, it starts first at the mobile level. I mean, I think probably like 60 to 70% of all mobile or like PC usage or computer usage is on mobile. And so if you're going to have a successful, like massively adopted crypto wallet, it has to be mobile friendly. Yeah.
Agree.
And so this device, like, you can carry the wallet around in your pocket. You can easily use it with your phone. It's got NFC built into it. That's pretty cool. Like can you put a passphrase on the wallet as well too?
Yeah. So there's going to be an option to actually import your passphrase that as I mentioned before. And then, so we already discussed it, because then seed phrases are like legacy, right? So you would want to make sure that you can actually support those things. So
no, but what I'm saying is, like, when I go to unlock the device, the hardware wallet, is there like a code or what's
yeah, there's like a 2FA to like another layer of protection.
Oh, so it's like 2FA that's connected to my, like, so I can have like Authy on my phone, and then it takes 2FA from there, or where's the 2FA generated?
It's just like our own 2FA on like the device.
That's cool. That's very smart.
Yeah.
So,
because you just don't want people to just like tap it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. And I guess, like, if you have enough security on your phone, which I think people do, Apple's gone a long way to make sure that nobody can really like break into your phone. And especially if you use a password instead of a 6-digit number, it's much more secure.
Agree. And then by the end of the day, the wallet pieces that you have on the recovery tag and the phone, no, it doesn't do anything, right?
Oh, like if you just have the wallet, it doesn't work with anything else, right?
Because it's only like a part of your private key. Like, them alone can't do anything.
Interesting. So, like, what is the type of like user that you guys are expecting to buy this and use this?
Yeah, so
Can I jump in for a bit, Sam?
Sure. Yeah, go ahead, Deep Advisor.
Just to actually hop on your question, because it's about something that I was also thinking about. It definitely seems, Luis, that like your main focus with Ryder is user experience. It feels like you're trying to bring like a new message out there, that there's a different way to handle wallets. So I kind of want to add that to Sam's question. When like, how do you actually do it? Because I think that's one of the biggest blocks these days that's actually preventing newcomers to join crypto and join the industry. So how are you actually dealing with it, and how do you actually think that you can onboard these new participants who actually are not familiar with the old standards of wallets and will not accept them ever?
Yeah. Agree. Okay, let's go back on the drawing board, right? I think I've been in crypto for so long, and then one thing that I've noticed is crypto guys build products from themselves, right? We build features after features, and we're guilty of it. If you look at the top protocols out there, top applications, all the decentralized one, maybe like a few, like Uniswap and the others, that none of them have product market fit. You know, if we're gonna be honest, you look at them. I work at a big protocol. At most, Bullrun, we had like 2,000 users, and we're like $1 billion protocol. And for me, that doesn't make sense, right? And if you look at other projects as well, it's more like the speculative part of it that drives user, like the airdrop. And that's evident, that's fine. So for us, what we did differently is, okay, let's go back to the drawing board, do it Web2 style. Let's understand what the problem is. And then from then on, you can actually tailor a perfect solution. And that's what we did. We did a mom test. We took like 54 people and we interviewed them. Okay, well, how can we make your experience better? And then from then on, we designed a solution, what we call TapSafe recovery with Ryder. And that's how we came up with it. So now we're super confident after, so it took 2 years of development, eight months iteration on the product design as well, that this is the device that they would want to have, that they would want to, go into crypto, because it has only 3 things. Like, it's super simple, super strong, and super secure. That's pretty much it.
So I think we've talked. DeFi Veg, do you have anything else? I wanted to ask about the app, because we've talked about the hardware device, but I think the app could be pretty special, right? Like if you're focusing on usability and keeping everybody within your ecosystem, it opens up a lot of opportunity to build like a profitable business, right? You look at MetaMask and how they've got these like 1% swaps on every side. If you could build that if you can make people not want to leave your app and keep them there, then that's a good way to monetize the users that are using the hardware wallet. So like people could go out and do their own stuff if they wanted to, but some people just want to stay in, especially with the segment of customers that you're going after. It might be a very good business opportunity.
Yeah. I think for us, okay, let's change the topic, founder to founder. I think as a founder in Web3, what we're trying to strive is, okay, how can we actually make a viable business without relying on tokens, right? Because by the end of the day, most of the people relies on tokens. And how do you build the kind of economy within a protocol? Then for us, okay, so you have the hardware component, which is great. And then of course the software component could also be another one. So you're right with it. So that's why we partnered with Alchemy Pay. If you go on the website, so once we release Ryder by April, if you pre-order now, we're actually doing an on-ramp with Alchemy Pay to 100 plus countries, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
And that's mostly targeted I'm from the Philippines. So for example, they partner with Gcash. So Gcash, you can buy crypto with a tax, and I think there's like a big market, especially in Asia, also South America, that's like untouched. And that's what we want to do, right? So in the future, you can also expect different versions of Ryder that we're releasing, like a more entry version and a more premium one down the line.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, you look at Ledger, right? I mean, they've gotten pretty good market dispersal and integration of their hardware wallet at scale, and now they've been expanding to other product lines. I'm sure they have a swap feature in their wallet. They just came out with the recovery service that they have, which is now a subscription feature. So I think there is a lot of places to grow. And especially if you can start building the app. I mean, if it can be app focused, then that expands the business line quite a lot.
Agree. And for us, we always say that Ryder is the first step towards our mission of bringing on-chain asset in the digital world, right? I mean, the physical world, because by the end of the day, if you combine hardware and software, I think there's a lot of room for you as like for experimentation as a company.
Have you showed Sam? You're muted.
Go ahead, Garrett. Sorry.
Oh no, go ahead.
No. I was. You got it.
I was just saying you're muted.
Okay. All right. So I wanted to ask about like what I can use this device for. So I obviously Bitcoin is probably there, and you said that we talked about Ethereum transactions, but what else? Like you guys were at the Solana Breakpoint conference.
Yeah,
Guess
yeah.
there's a lot
So
on there.
we support. So we're gonna support the biggest ones for Ryder. So the roadmap for that one will be announced quite soon. But then we announced support for Polygon as well, Solana, of course, Bitcoin. So those are like the few ones that are in our roadmap for integration. And then from then on, it's all about chain sequencing, right? So you need to see, okay, which chain has like a really good traction in terms of community, and that's what you integrate next.
I want to ask you again of something about that's not the app itself, actually, but more about in general. I think one of your biggest challenges, at least with the existing community, will be, it's very hard, I think, for experienced users to trust something new.
Yeah.
It's much easier to trust Ledger or any other of the, famous and known players within the scene that we've been known for a while. How do you guys expect to really enter the market and
But I would disagree with that.
taking on this challenge? Go ahead, sir.
I would disagree with that, DeFi Advisor. I would say
Sure,
that
go ahead.
like yeah. So like I would say that like usability is way more important than people think, right? I originally started with the Ledger, and it has obvious limitations because it's the size of a USB thumb drive, and it's got a really small screen, and it's not the best user experience. And so when the Grid Plus wallet came along, and it's got a giant screen on there, which you can see the full Ethereum transaction on there. I mean, that provided a new user experience that I thought was valuable enough to make the switch. And with Ryder One here, it looks like they've built and improved the user experience in a significant way that I think when you compare it to like Ledger and Trezor and stuff, it's just in a different conversation about what you would want and about usability that I don't think those devices can match.
Actually, I kind of agree, but I think that still, you have to earn the trust issue. You have to gain some kind of recognition of the fact that the people start really trusting whatever's behind the project. Because I agree with you. Like this obviously brings to the table a lot of benefits that the old wallets are not even, I don't know, not even dreaming about. Like this can be a paradigm shift. But what like I'm interested in is how do you guys see do you really see your potential in changing the market sentiment, the current market sentiment about wallets, and transforming them to use Ryder One, or are you more thinking about the newcomers of 2, 5, 10 years from now that will require that will actually demand different standards of usability, just like Sam said?
Yeah,
because I agree with you. The others, if they want to become more usable with time and more UX oriented, they will not survive forever. Definitely.
Yeah. Okay. There's a lot of questions there. Let me unwrap first the battle between credibility and usability. I think you both are right. I think those two things are very important for us. Usability is definitely at our utmost priority, but the advisor is also right. I think trust is not something you earn overnight, right? Trust is something that we have to earn for a long time, and that's why we build out in the open. You can see who the team are. For example, Marvin, our CTO, he's number 7 on OpenSea. He did a lot of contributions in the Web3 space. Same with like Freezer and Quentin, all the hardware guys as well, brought millions of hardware devices to the market. So for us, we assembled the best team to actually give you the best solution out there. And then that's why you see now us more being vocal about the product. We announced Polygon, they supported it. We also announced Solana because that's one way to build credibility. And in the future, there's going to be an audit that's going to be released for TapSafe recovery done by Coin Fabric. And then lastly, for you, the advisor, there's going to be an open source pledge as well. Because by the end of the day, like I mentioned in the beginning, our team doesn't want to build islands, right? So for us, even if from Ryder the company doesn't exist, you can still use your Ryder. It's open source fully, and yeah, take care of your assets by yourself. That's like for the security maxi. Sorry, I forgot your other question because had a follow-up. I tried to answer the first one between you and Sam, and then there's another one that you were talking about the main consumers, I think.
Yeah, no, I think the open source part of it is really important. Like you look at like what Trezor has done, and one of the reasons they've been able to get such high praise across the industry is that all of their components are open source, the software is open source, and so everything is fully viewable all the time. And you know, I believe Ledger wasn't open source on some of their products right up until the summer when they had blowback for their kind of recovery product that they were going to release. And so yeah, so I think like open source is the way to go, right? And it's how you, yeah.
And if you look at the team, if you look at Preacher, he's like one of the biggest contributor for open source. If you look at Owen, he even contributes to the Rust compiler as well. So for us, if you look at the engineers, okay, they're like heavy on open source, you know, and yeah, it's one of our pledge.
That's great.
Yeah.
So let's take a look at, let's do a little product comparison, right? Just to run through all the different options. So
Yeah.
if we look at Trezor right now, they've got 3 different options. They've got their Model T at $219, which has, it's still in that Trezor shape, but it does have a touch screen. Still
Beautiful.
I think it's okay. Yeah. And then we have Ledger, right? Ledger has three products. We have the 2 USB style devices with the Nanos. And then they've just come out with their Stacks product, which is a e-ink touchscreen. And apparently they're stackable as well too. And that was one of the things I remember from their product demos. And then lastly, we have the Grid Plus, which is just like a giant brick, only for home use. But it does have this. You haven't seen this one?
No. And we did a lot of hardware study.
Yeah, so this is the one that I have at home. It's cool because it shows you like all the transaction data like this.
Okay.
And if you have a home device and you're primarily using it like non-mobile, this one's great. But the only thing about this one is this one's $397, right? If we look back at the Ledger Stacks is $279.
Yeah.
The Trezor Model T is $219. And then you guys have just announced the opening of the Kickstarter, and we can see here that you can get an early bird pack for $245. So it fits right in there, right in between the Ledger and the Trezor, for a device which I believe has a better usability into it. It has a color touchscreen, and it comes with these recovery tags and the wireless charger, which the Trezor and the Ledger don't.
Yeah. I just love to clarify. So Kickstarter, they display your local currency in Singaporean dollars. So this is all Singaporean dollars.
Oh, it is.
Yeah. We tried to fix it. So, and they said you need to do it at manually. So sorry for that, guys. But Ryder retails at $249. And the super early bird discount was done. So we had $90 off for the past 2 days, and now it's just early bird. So so
it's this, right? So it's actually $183, or is that right?
Yeah. So for the early bird, super early bird, and now you have early bird. So there's $70 discount on it just today for the next few days till the end of the Kickstarter campaign.
So it's even cheaper than it's $187.25. So it's even less than any of those other top end products. So it's $100 less than the Ledger Stacks right now. It's like $200 less than the Grid Plus device, and then it is almost $50 less than the Trezor Model T. So this period up until December, for the next 2 months, a really nice opportunity to be able to purchase the Ryder One hardware wallet at a discount. And so we do want to say that it is a Kickstarter campaign, and Kickstarter says here that it's not going to be delivered until April 2024, which is about 6 months from now. And so so can you talk about like the next, like that timeline of going from now with the Kickstarter campaign launching to getting people's devices into the mail and in their hands?
Yeah, yeah, that's right. So let's go first with like the product comparison because you went over it. I think all the hardware wallets out there does an amazing job. I think Ledger did an amazing job in bringing 6 million users to do self custody. Second, I think the comms of Trezor, like when they released the new one, is pretty great as well. So shout out to those guys because it takes balls to do hardware. Let's be honest here.
Yeah,
You know,
it's
not
hard.
all guys. So I think everybody deserves like a tap in the back. I usually tell people it's easier to shut down, just like criticize things, right? But then once you do it, and then you just have utmost respect to everybody because it's hard. Let's be honest here, you know.
Yeah.
And I think those
Well,
guys
especially for
deserves
hardware,
credit. Yeah.
like you're saying, like hardware, you got to get the cash first before you
Yeah.
even build anything. It's not
Yeah.
software, right?
Agree. And at Ryder, we raised 1.2 million, and I always tell the guys we did great, right? So you were able to bring out a device, we're able to do a campaign, and we're super transparent at all the things that we do. We did stellar as a company if you compare it to other Web3 companies, because other Web3 companies raise millions of dollars, and I don't know where they are today. So I'm just like being honest out there. Okay, let's move on to the April shipping timeline. So Rider by Design is actually ready for manufacturing. So we're gonna use this Kickstarter campaign to fill up the pre-orders. So then we have a few months, like we do the injection molding and just have like the perfect device ready to be shipped to you by April. And it takes like quite a few months. And we try to considerate the timeline of Chinese New Year, because then, for example, we're manufacturing in Shenzhen, and Chinese New Year in February, they have like a month holiday. So we already take it into consideration. So we have, yeah, almost till April. And then in terms of by design, our supply chain is de-risked, so we can easily source out components for Rider within 8 weeks. We have a great SE chip partner. It's a German-made chip, SE Infineon, that we can easily source out as well within 12 weeks. So for us, we're super confident that we can actually ship the product by April.
It's very cool.
Yeah. Because let's go on the nitty-gritty. I think everybody should just learn this in terms of a hardware company, right? I think hardware companies are very difficult, especially if you look at it from like a VC standpoint, because like, okay, they're a hardware company, nobody does hardware. It's very risky because it's capital intensive. You have like the sales cycle, purchasing order, and there's a lot of moving components to it. So if you look at Rider, okay, how do they actually de-risk the business? By onboarding people that did hardware before. So you combine Web3 people that did Web3 for years, and you're going to combine it with Web2 hardware experts that work for like Sony, Philips, you know, and just like the big guys like DJI, Oppo, because they brought hundreds of millions of products to the market. So they understand the supply chain process, sourcing of components, how to optimize the BOM to actually have the kind of revenue. And that's what we did for the past 2 years, which is very hard. You know, it's not like one thing. Like if for a simple component, for example, you need to talk to 30 vendors in order to find the best price, you know. And usually what hardware startups do that you see now, they build their components in-house. So the team just build the hardware themselves. And when you go through manufacturing, you're going to enter what they call the death valley. And the death valley is you're going to realize the design that you make in-house couldn't be actually done in manufacturing, because there's a lot of things that you need to tweak for, like the CID files, for example. So what we did at Ryder since the beginning, we worked with an external party and we developed the product with them to make sure that we're ready for manufacturing. So as a company, we were able to de-risk a lot of things. And when we did our campaign in Kickstarter, we're ready for manufacturing, basically.
Very cool. Very cool. So I think we're gonna have to pick one up. Do you think is your wallet charged now that you can show a transaction?
Yes, I do.
Oh, cool. I think it's mirrored.
How many of you made so far? Like, because obviously you had to make some before, like
Yeah.
like this can be quite a big collection, you know, of like the.
I have a lot of prototypes. If you let me pick it. I'm gonna show it to you guys because I like it. You know. Wait. Let me pick it up.
What do you guys think of it?
I think it's extremely.
Yeah. So we have. Let me see.
And that's a cool.
So this is one, but then this has a different material, so it's like all PC, as you can see.
Oh, nice.
And
This
then
is looking
there's
slick. Honestly,
Yeah,
looking.
that's yeah, and this is like the one that we're releasing
Oh, cool.
this April, and then I have the super premium one here, which is an all steel
Oh, that's cool.
version, and then you can actually feel when you feel it, it's it's okay. It feels very premium. And then, of
Luxury.
course, down the line, I think we need to work together in order to figure out, okay, what are like the accessories that we want from it, right? Because then people would want to
True.
integrate it in their daily lives, and that's something that actually we can do together. And I think it's nice as a hardware company if you involve the people within the community. They're like, okay, we want this, and then we just
True.
produce it, right? I think that's one thing that we want to do different in the space, especially when you do like relationship with the people who's actually trusting the company. And
Also,
here's another feature, you can show your NFT.
Oh, that's cool.
that's actually cool. And also because I don't know if it's going to be actually you guys, I hope for you, but like the company that's actually going to be able to integrate the hardware that we're using as a kind of accessory, a luxury, like something that you want to own,
Yeah.
like you want to own a specific watch, or you want to own a specific car, or you want to own whatever. The company that's gonna actually that's gonna actually do this fashion or lifestyle angle in a good enough way is also, in my opinion, gonna enjoy a lot of success. By the way, I also wanted to ask you, Evan, why did you actually choose the Kickstarter route? Like, why didn't you just go for a bigger, raise and just, manufactures a lot of
Yeah.
supply in advance and start selling
Yeah.
them? Like, what
Yeah.
made you choose that way?
That's a very good question. I love the question. And it goes back to the initial question that you have, which was credibility, right? And I think one way to build credibility, aside from working with like top tier protocols and getting security audit, is actually being the product that people love, right? So for us, if you see, okay, like for the past 2 days, like more than 100 people back Ryder, so we're gaining traction. That's definitely there. And then after the Kickstarter campaign, we can say, oh, we're like the hardware wallet that people love. That's also one way to build credibility.
So,
And also the guys at Kickstarter are great, and we want to touch a separate audience, which is technologically niche, right? Like they get crypto, they know it, but they didn't jump on it because they had this connotation. It's the wild casino west. There's a lot of like grifters. Like my friends in 2016, they wanted to go into crypto same time as I am. 7 years later, they're still on the same spot, and they still think crypto or like Web3 is very scammy. And for me and for the rest of our team, we always want to change that narrative. I think it's time. It's time, guys. Like we've been here so long, and if you met a person, if you tell them you work in crypto, there's two things that they say. They're like, is it okay? It's very dumb, right? Isn't it a scam? Those are the opening lines. Trust me. I think if we all work together, we can change that connotation because now it's just very bad. It looks very bad from the optics.
Yeah, they will look at us differently, hopefully, in a few years. They will, oh, you look at crypto, right? Oh, that's nice. Oh, that's
Like, and you can
cool.
always say, so we were right. We were there since the beginning. But now, I don't know. I am, I don't like it. I don't like the fact that there's a lot of builders that's just like being overshadowed by like the negative connotation. I don't think we deserve it. Even like the recent case with like FTX, the entire credibility of the space was just wiped out in 36 hours. I think that's so sad.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of builders that work hard on the protocol level just to prove that it's the future.
Yeah, 100% agree there. Yeah, I couldn't agree more than that.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. I mean, we talk to builders every single day, right? And so
you guys know it, right? I mean,
True. I think you've also like explained it very well. And by the way, I also think that you have a very good point there on the Kickstarter issue, because that's a very technology savvy audience, which I'm pretty sure kind of disrespects crypto by the fact that we still don't have these fancy hardware stuff like they're accustomed to. So again, I think if you create a good enough product and get the attention there, it will be a very good complementary addition to the crypto space. And man, you really made us root for you, that's for sure.
Yeah, that's why I'm here today, guys. I think it's always nice to do like the grassroots approach, because then once you guys are like bought in, it just spreads it, right? And I was a community builder. I talked to builders for years, and it always changes the perception of things if you're able to explain things from like 0 to 1.
Cool. Well,
Definitely.
we are getting closer to the top of the hour, and I really love the product demo. The wallet looks great, and I think it can carve out a niche for itself in usability and just ease of use. So I think the prospect for Ryder coming into the next year is going to be really cool. It's going to be great once you guys get out of this kind of pre-production stage and into
Yeah.
you know.
I think we should do like a follow-up call, right? I think once maybe like in Q2, I think it would be nice to just like do a follow-up. Okay, like what's the status of the company, where we are? I think it's nice. Like what are the troubles that we get into, and then what's coming next.
Yeah,
More than
yeah.
always happy to chat.
Happy to do that. Well, thanks so much for coming on, Louis. It was really great to have you here.
No, thank you for having me, and yeah, super appreciate it. Thank you guys for hosting.
Awesome.
And a lot of luck with the new product, man. Looks
Thank
good.
you, the advisor. Thank you, Garrett. Thank you, Sam. Thank you so much.
Take care.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.